Well, hello and good morning. We're back. This is F1000 Live. We're here to tee up the Japanese Grand Prix. It's very early here in Canada, but we love it. We're pulling all-nighters. We're watching the qualifying early in the morning. We're getting up early. I'm Chaps. I'm back here with Mike again. And as always, we're going to start with breaking down the track. Mike, what do we think about this track? Suzuka Circuit.
Suzuka is like, I think I mentioned this to you during the week. Like, to me, you could know nothing about racing, but you would know Suzuka, right? Like,
Yeah,
if you played any, I think I mentioned this to you before, if you played any like Gran Turismo video game as a kid, like that was always a track that was in the game. It's just familiar, it seems. And it certainly seems to be a favorite of the drivers when you listen to the interviews and you this week. I mean, I thought here I am thinking like, oh, maybe there's going to be a bit of an edge that you could find where a particular guy really likes the track. Everybody likes the track. It doesn't.
everybody loves this
They
track.
all love the track. They love the atmosphere, which it seems like it's really cool. This would be a
Seb,
cool one to go to for
Seb
sure.
was almost in tears just finishing his qualifying lap. He's like, guys, I'm going to miss
Yeah,
this so much. Seb, you still have a full race tomorrow.
it's hilarious. He actually has to race the race, dude.
Yeah.
What are you
He might
doing?
he said he wants to unretire next year just to come
I
back
know.
to Suzuka.
Which
Yeah,
is which is really which is cool. Yeah,
I
that's cool.
agree. And I played the F1 game. We actually put out a little
Yeah,
bit of a track breakdown. This is my favorite track to race around. It's got
yeah,
such a good combination of high-speed corners, there's a couple of hairpins,
exactly.
long straights, one's a DRS, one's not. It really tests kind of every aspect of your driving skill all in one lap. And
It
yeah,
does.
it's a great one.
The way that it links together is really cool. It's the only, I think, figure of eight. It's the only one, the only track that's
It's
a
the
figure
only
of eight
figure eight.
layout,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
which is that's it. There's a uniqueness to that. In terms of maybe some of the things that we're going to be looking for, I think it looks like it's going to be, it is like a medium to high downforce track.
Yep.
That's right, and we know that based on how the sections are laid out, it's going to be really heavy on the tires. It's a front limited track. It's going to wear out the tires quickly because they're going to be carrying a ton of stress and a ton of energy through all of the laps connecting through each of the sectors.
Yep.
So tire management is going to be really key. And I think we sent out a tweet earlier in the week where we had said we're going to look at the results from the Dutch Grand Prix as a comparable because Zandvoort is very comparable
From
in a
a
lot of
track
ways.
perspective. Yep.
Exactly, right? It's less banking, obviously, than we saw a couple of weeks ago. But I think in terms of how the network of turns and sectors are set up, it is very similar.
It's
Now,
a
the biggest change, I think, when you compare Suzuka to some of those other tracks that are like medium to high downforce with high tire stress and tire energy, is that this Suzuka's got the big straight,
it does.
right?
It's
And
got a
that
main
makes
straight, but that's not even the big one we're talking
it's
about.
not
It's
even it's
the
exactly
back
it's not even the
straight.
big one.
And
The back
again,
straight is
the
huge.
back straight with no DRS to help out a driver. So you're right. I mean, you mentioned it's a medium to high downforce, and I think we're going to see throughout the grid, some teams have a medium downforce level and some teams have a high downforce level because this track really forces the team to balance the downforce with the power. You can go for more downforce, which really helps you through sector one with all
Yep.
the high speed corners, but then it obviously hurts you in the back straight. So there's no real one preferred setup.
You got to find a window. Yeah,
We're
you
going to
got to
see
find the right
teams
window,
struggling
right?
with that balance.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be I think that's going to be the key to race day, to be completely honest, especially when you factor in the weather that they're expecting to see tomorrow.
Which we do expect some rain. Now we don't
Yeah.
know, is it going to be at the start of the race? Is it going to be in the first third of the race? There's a chance it comes after the race,
Yeah.
but everyone seems to be preparing for some wet weather. And again, when we're talking about downforce, I think there's a couple of teams on the grid today when we look at the qualifying session that did put more downforce on their car, potentially expecting it to help out with the tire wear, but
Yep.
also potentially saying, look, we think it's going to rain tomorrow, and that downforce, it might hurt us today, but it's really going to help us in the Grand Prix tomorrow.
Yeah, there was definitely, I think, some preparation that was being taken, and certainly in the dry runs of the practice, the third session, and then with qualifying as well. And that, I think, is an acknowledgement, like you said, of what we're expecting in terms of race conditions tomorrow.
You know what
So
this
it's something to
reminds
keep an
me
eye
of?
on.
You know what
Yeah.
this reminds me of, Mike?
Yeah.
And we talked about this. Now, the track specifics don't really compare to Monza, Monza's clearly a no downforce, high speed track.
Yeah.
But these strategic decisions are
Mhm.
reminding me of our discussion between Red Bull and Ferrari when we broke down the Monza race, where the teams were deciding between their balance of, look, do we go zero downforce but then potentially struggle with tires, which is what
Yeah.
Ferrari did, or do we see a Red Bull which maybe sacrificed their qualifying speed, but had more downforce on the car to help their tires throughout the race? And I think we've seen that today. When we look at the
Yeah.
qualifying session from Max, obviously he led every section or
Mhm.
every session, but when you break down his sectors, he was fastest in sector 1, but slower than the Ferraris in sector 2 in all of these sessions.
Mhm.
And when we look at the track, sector 1 has the S curves, which are very high speed where you need the downforce.
Yep.
Sector 3 has the chicane and the 130R. Now 130R is flat out, but the downforce helps you stay flat out.
Totally.
Sector 2 has the back straight.
Yeah.
So we clearly see Ferrari running less downforce, getting the top speed on the main straight, but for Verstappen over an entire lap, that downforce is just putting him on top.
Yeah. It's going to be a balance. I think that Red Bull will probably take full advantage of ultimately in the end, especially when you say, obviously they're the favorite in two of the sectors. They lost a little bit of time to Ferrari, but overall, I think when you extrapolate that over the course of race day, I mean, maybe we jump right into some of the expectations at the top of the grid. I would be very surprised if this is not an easy win for Max.
I'm right with
Right?
you.
Like I don't think that there's any way that the like I'm to be honest, I would be more interested in maybe seeing with the wet weather and Mercedes not doing well in the wet weather.
Oh,
Um,
okay, I
right?
disagree.
Well, we can talk about that.
I think the
Yeah.
Mercedes has done well in the wet weather, specifically this weekend. The wet sessions that we saw, they performed way better than they did in the dry sessions.
Yeah, I don't think that you can take too much from that, Chaps. I mean,
No, no, but what that does is support my belief of the philosophy of this Mercedes. It's built, and we talked about this last week when we were on the street circuit. It's built for a high downforce car. Now, when
it
we
is.
talk about a qualifying session today, where we saw them struggle in the dry, and the high speed cars are going to win out, all of a sudden, when it rains tomorrow, a car that maybe has a little bit more natural downforce might have some opportunities to perform well.
Well, why don't we just okay? Let's
They
talk about that.
they struggle
So
with warming up the tires, which is
yeah,
going to hurt them in the
which
wet.
is a problem.
But it didn't hurt Lewis last week.
It didn't hurt Lewis last week in the sense that he was well
He was
off the pace of the leaders, but he made a mistake that ended up costing him position ultimately in the race.
right, but
Right?
it wasn't a failure to warm up the tires that saw him drop through the grid immediately. He held pace with
No.
Signs
So what
for
is
most
that?
of the race.
So when you say that you're not, so I'm by no means am I fading Mercedes. Depending, it's situational to me.
The only
What do
thing
you think?
I wanted to touch on was you said that the wet might get worse for Mercedes. I think if it rains, that's a better thing for Mercedes tomorrow in
Okay,
comparison to the Ferrari, for example.
I
Where
get.
Ferrari's running no down. Clearly they've got the least downforce on the grid.
Yeah,
If it rains tomorrow, they stand the most to struggle, whereas the Mercedes with its natural downforce
yeah.
just stands more to gain, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that assertion. I don't think it's going to be enough for them to challenge for a podium. I would be
No.
hesitant to even take them to take a top six finish.
Well, so this is a great discussion because
Yeah,
the Alpines look amazing this week.
yeah.
Like,
I
what
know
do you
the
think about
Alpines.
the Alpines?
I think the Alpines look really good. And buddy, I'm telling you, the only reservations I have about the Alpines, and this is something that it's almost strange to say now at this point in the season compared to where we were earlier in the season, but I have a little bit of concerns about the reliability issues of these cars, man.
Does the
And that's
fact that
that
they
is what we bank our bets on that. That's our principal concern is the
I agree.
reliability of the car.
No, I'm with you. Does the fact that both cars went out last week, so there's no chance that let's say, for example, only Ocon DNFs. Okay, the whole week they look at Ocon's problem. What happened with Ocon? We got to finish that. Maybe Alonso then a problem creeps up because they didn't focus on. There's no way that they overlooked either car or either driver. They both got brand new power units now. maybe
Sorry,
this is a reliability week.
they both got brand new power
Or
units?
sorry, actually, you
No,
know what? I'm not sure if they
they
actually.
did. They did.
So they're
So
using the same units that failed last week. There's no way.
yeah, that's my understanding. I like maybe we can look that up really quickly because that's gonna make so Alonso again in an interview he says talking about the power unit for his vehicle. He says, we are not maybe we're not completely safe until the end of the year. So it's possible that we may have to introduce a power unit. So they haven't done it yet. But I don't think that it's going to be this weekend, but soon. That's what he said. Right? And so in Singapore, obviously the issue for them, and this is kind of like coming on the tails of us having this conversation ahead of Singapore last week, and me making mention of Alonso being concerned about his power unit at the end of the previous race in Monza. So they both the Alpines suffered apparently similar power unit issues on their cars. Whether or not they identified what the root cause is, I anything that would indicate. Oh, I don't have you, chaps. I lost your audio. No, nothing yet. No. Can you hear me? Okay. Weird. Did you hit the mute button at the back of the mic, maybe?
Maybe.
Yeah, you did. Okay. There you go. Hey,
Yeah. You know
lesson
what?
learned.
I was typing, and
Yeah.
I don't like the. Um. No. Yeah. I was saying they were different issues. It was a different problem on both cars. I
Okay,
heard
for sure.
he was interviewed on one of the practice sessions. They brought him on the radio,
Yeah.
and he said it was a different issue on both cars.
Okay.
But they figured it out. So.
Okay. So, like, just very
Okay.
quickly,
So
then,
yeah.
let's talk about like just a general, like, how about a general analysis of Alpine versus Mercedes in a betting situation this weekend. Because of the reliability of the Mercedes, I have no question about their ability to complete the race, regardless of the circumstances.
Right.
Minus 275 for Mercedes to have.
Are we
both
looking at
cars.
lines? I haven't looked at lines yet, Mike.
That's okay. I was just peeking. I'm just
Okay,
taking a peek,
okay.
man. Right?
What is it?
Minus 275 for both the Mercedes to finish in the points.
In the top 10. Okay.
In the top 10. Now
Yeah.
that might be like that. That's
Very
probably,
safe. It's a very safe start.
It's a very safe start. That could be maybe that's normally a minus 350, but I think because this is an acknowledgement probably of the book that they had some struggles in Singapore because of the weather. That they're anticipating that there's going to be cooler weather. It's not a secret that they struggle with warming up the tires, but I do agree with you that they have a car that is downforce oriented. And
Yes.
even though they struggled on a downforce oriented track last week, when you look at their relative pace, they
Russell
were not,
struggled. Lewis
Yeah.
made a mistake. I didn't think that race was him struggling.
No. So the question
He kept up
Yeah.
his pace the whole race.
So do they have enough to stay in the top 10? I mean, I would.
Yes.
They still are superior.
Who
to
knocks
the
them out of the top 10? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like,
Other
even
than
if-
failures or crashes.
Yeah. Well, I would. This is more of a nod to their. So both of these drivers are phenomenal in wet weather. Right, like George Russell and Lewis Hamilton are amazing wet weather
Yeah.
drivers. Like I was trying to do some research because obviously it looks like it's going to rain or there's going to be some sort of wet weather tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like who is skilled in the wet weather? I was watching a bunch of videos about some of the laps that a lot of these drivers have thrown down in the wet weather. Lewis and George are incredible.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
they have-
and they say the wet is the great equalizer, but also it's the great indicator of the best drivers. The
That's
guys
true.
that can perform well in the wet. Schumacher was great in the wet.
Of course.
Verstappen's good in the wet.
Yeah.
Lewis has always been good in the wet.
He's fantastic. Yeah. So it's not a like it's a pretty safe bet to think that they're going to do probably pretty well in terms of their ability to navigate the course tomorrow. The only potential risk is, again, does their machinery let them down? There's not a question from a reliability perspective. It's
Yeah.
more so from can they get heat into those tires? That's the only concern.
This
But
seems
I think
really
that-
weird. This seems weird to me. Them in the top 6 is only minus 200. So you're only losing 75 points.
Interesting.
Like that makes me love the top 10 way more.
Yeah.
But why?
'Cause I don't
why
think
is
to be,
it should be?
I don't
it-
think they're. I don't think they're both going to finish in the top 6. I really don't.
Well, so we were just talking about wet weather being the equalizer. I just assume that Alonso's another guy that's great in the wet because he's a champion. I mean, I just assume that if you
No,
won
that's
if
a
you
fair
won the driver
assumption. Yeah,
championship, you're probably good in the
you're
wet.
probably pretty good. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like to
I,
me,
I agree with you. One of our pillars is reliability.
yeah.
The Alpine's not showing it lately.
So
I'm
just
just I
look at
watched
it
all
from
the
this.
sessions
Yeah,
this week
yeah, I
saying,
know.
wow, the
Yeah.
Alpines look great.
They look fantastic, and they are good on the straights. Like we know that car excels on the straights, and they've got the back and the main. Like that's part of the reason why they've shown so well. I think right this weekend. But and just take a look. So, in our opinion, and in the book's opinion, so the Mercedes are minus 275 and the Alpine is minus 175 for both cars in the points. I mean, to lose 100 points essentially, I'm going to take the Mercedes, knowing that there is an extremely high likelihood that they're going to finish the race without any issues.
Right.
Right?
Yeah,
And
I'm just trying to think devil's
yeah,
advocate. Like, what do
yeah,
we have
yeah.
against the Mercedes here?
Nothing. I don't think I have anything against the Mercedes to finish in a top 10 position. I actually
No.
really like that bet. I think that you get some value for it because I would imagine that it normally, probably for the last couple of weeks, has been, I can't recall, but for the last couple of weeks, I think it's been like in the minus 300 range, right?
I think so. Yeah. For
So
the
you can
top
get-
10? Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
That's a pretty good value for a car that is going to come across the line, right?
Is there a bet where you can take one drive, like just a team to have one driver somewhere? What would that be phrased?
Ooh, I don't know. Why? What were you thinking?
I'm just curious. Is there what's the line on a Merc in the top 6 or
Oh,
a
just
sprinkle on like one of the Mercs to get into the top 3 or something? Like I'm just curious. Do they give you the benefit of both drivers anywhere? Both cars.
I don't think I've seen that.
It'd be so hard to determine.
Yeah.
What's max to lead lap 1? Yeah, it's super minus.
That's not a surprise though.
The start of this race is so fun. It's such a long straight off the
Yeah.
line to the first corner, and then the first corner is high speed with, like, I think in 2019 we saw cars going 3 wide around that turns 1 and 2.
It's gonna be
Max
so
got
cool.
spun out.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be so Charles he's starting on the dirty side of the track too, right?
Damn, I don't know which side. I think so. Yeah,
I think so, right?
on the right side.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they said 15 of the races here have been won from pole, and then 23 have been won from the front row, or it's 20 something from the front row.
Yeah.
So second place can win here.
yeah. Okay, we started talking about Max and then we kind of tailed off. So I'm looking at plus 162 plus money
Okay.
for both Red Bulls to finish on the podium. So we have our feelings about Max. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's the best driver. He has the best car. He's in P1. He's gonna win, right? I think
Yeah.
we know that his qualifying sessions too are not an accurate reflection of his actual. I think everybody knows that. Not an actual reflection of his actual race pace, and he's
No.
still like we talked
And
about.
he's still pole.
He's still pulled. So he's
I-
gonna win.
I was
Like,
very
he's-
much watching for this strategic.
Yeah.
Is he rocking more downforce than the Ferraris?
Yeah.
And so maybe everything I saw justified that, but it was very consistent. Sector 1, he was way faster than the Ferraris. Sector 2, the Ferraris were faster. Sector 3 went back and forth, but that
Yeah.
one's kind of got a mix of speed and the chicane anyway. So
Right.
I
He
think,
lost
again,
apparently
the
he
Red
lost
Bulls
a little
had
bit. Did you see like he lost a little bit of his duct on his final
No.
lap too? Like so
Really?
he lost time because of that.
Now we're sure he's not getting a penalty, right?
I haven't seen
Have they-
anything
they've
that would
cleared it?
indicate. I have no. The stewards have cleared him. Yeah.
They've said like officially.
Yeah. He just got a warning or something.
That was
I mean,
wild, man. I don't know
we
what
know
he
that-
was doing.
yeah, I know. We know that they want him to win, so they're not going to give him a penalty,
Right.
right? The conspiracy theory. It's not even a conspiracy theory. I think you're right.
So let's talk about the poetics of this week. Red Bull
Yeah.
has the historic relationship with Honda. They built their engine. It seemed to be severed, but then out of nowhere, the past couple of weeks, they've been talking again,
I don't
and
really
they're going to
know.
help them build the hybrid part of their new engine in 26 now.
I
And
don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't
Honda's
know what
back on
happened.
the car. So how poetic would it be for Max Verstappen to win the championship in Japan with Honda there? He does it if he wins the race with the fastest lap.
Yeah.
Now, Mike, we've talked a lot about this. We bring this up almost every week. Usually, I'm a big deterrent or a detractor against the winning the race and the fastest lap. We reference the similarities to this track to the Dutch Grand Prix.
Yeah.
That is one of the rare examples this year where we saw Max Verstappen win the race with the fastest lap. He did it from 14th on the grid that week.
See,
He's in pole this week
that's the difference for me, right?
because
I
he was
think.
coming from behind. Now,
Yeah. He's got
here's
the
the
DRS.
difference.
He's,
Here's
yeah.
the difference for me. If they are running more downforce as the track ramps up throughout the race, and they just have the better tires at the end, that's probably where he gets it. But if we're
Yeah.
expecting no, because if we're expecting rain to come in halfway through the race, then it's the early laps that are going to get the fastest
True.
lap.
It's just too. I think there's too many complicating. So that's kind of why I brought this
But
one.
that's what he
plus
needs to
162.
win.
Yeah,
I guess
know.
well,
You can't
if
get
if
it.
Charles is two, if Charles is
if-
out of the points,
yeah.
I think Max can take it. They could probably
Yeah.
just like finish whatever.
Yeah, I don't. So I just I hate to lose on not getting the fastest lap.
I agree.
Because
I'm the
somebody-
one that usually says that.
I know.
But
I
if
would
you
rather-
brought this to the table, it's the one example is the Dutch Grand Prix where it happened.
I know. But it's not apples to apples only because of his starting position, right?
Yeah.
And he set. I'm almost positive that he set that fastest lap in his run through the field. If I can't recall, but I think I'm almost positive that he did.
Yeah, like it wasn't at the
He
end.
would have, right? Like I mean, that makes sense, right?
So to circle back, 162 on the both cars podium. I do like that.
Yeah. So I mean, Checo.
We need
you say
Checo
what
to
you want.
climb.
So Checo had a tough stretch, right?
No, he's back. Checo 2.0.
He's back, man. No, he's back. He looked really good in Singapore. He looked extremely confident. I think for me, what is really, I guess, kind of boosts my opinion about Checo this weekend. I mean, I think again the Red Bull is going to be set up in a better way than the Ferrari because, like we've talked about, they're just a more balanced car.
And if it rains,
And
that only
that's what
that exponentially helps.
We saw him fight off Leclerc in the rain,
Yeah.
and that's all he would need to do in theory to secure, 3 or 2, really, ultimately in the end. Because who else? There's nobody. There's no
Sainz.
other threat for him. Yeah, I don't think the Sainz is even really a threat.
No, and I don't think Lewis is a legitimate threat from behind.
No. So this, I mean, outside of a reliability problem, which you can't really do anything about, and we obviously we're on the Red Bulls. I mean,
The Red
we've
Bulls
been betting on
reliable.
them consecutively for consecutive weeks here. I think like to get plus money for something that I just can't see a circumstance in which Checo finishes fourth without any sort of reliability issue happening. Right? Like how does he just get beat?
I mean, it could be Mac. It could just be the finishing order. But I agree with you. It's well supported for us to get plus money.
Yeah, for us to get plus money on it too, right? Like what is he? He's actually performed better at the front limited circuits than the rear limited circuits,
Is
based on some of the data that I'm just looking at.
Well, and so that's interesting with Checo and his driving style. There is a hairpin here. It's the first major braking zone, but then it leads into one of the better passing opportunities
Yeah,
going up that turn 12. Like if he can be the one that A, manages his rear tires coming out of that hairpin, but then B, also gets the better exit, maybe he does just get some chances on that corner. What is Checo podium finish? You would think it would be worse odds. 125. Yeah, okay.
yeah, minus 125, right? Yeah. I mean that's a nice nod, right? That's a bit of an acknowledgement from the book that they think he's going to get signs,
Yep.
which he probably will relatively easily, I think.
I'm going to mark it. Red Bull. It may seem that we're kind of on the same teams week over week, but again, we like cars that are going to finish the race. So
Oh yeah, no, it's different permutations of those teams in the bets, right? I think that's kind of what we usually end up with is where do we see the best value
yeah,
when deploying those teams in a bet, right? Because you don't want to you don't want to lose a big bet because a guy's car blows up. Like
No.
it's painful, right?
It'd be the worst way to go.
Yeah, it's painful.
Yeah. Red Bull.
So the
Do
one,
we like Seb? Actually, go ahead before we talk about Seb.
so I was looking because I wanted to take a look at top six finish. Where are you on Lando? So Lando, as we know, is a wizard in the wet temperatures. He showed that again in
Another
Singapore.
indicator of a great driver. If you put him in a
Right?
good car,
He
man,
is
I
a
think
phenomenal.
Lando's up there.
And the upgrades that the McLaren had taken into Singapore, it's tough to gauge them. I mean, he finished obviously extremely high up the grid because of everything that had gone on.
Yep.
But he still maintained position.
Well,
And
he started decently. He started
So
sixth and finished fourth. Like I can't. I don't. We don't really blame the stuff
No.
that went on for that. He just
No.
had a good race.
So you plus 150 for Lando to get into the top six. And he's starting 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got who in front of him?
He's got to get Vettel first.
Okay, he should be able to.
Both Mercs
Okay.
and both
He could
Alpines.
get the Mercs. So he could get the Mercs, the Alpines.
I'm not sure he gets the Alpines unless they have issues. So now we're really talking like, well, it's a fade bet for one of the Alpines to DNF then, if that's where your
Yeah,
head's
you're
at
right.
that strongly.
Then you're going to start. So do you think?
Because the
you don't
Alpine
think
has pace, man. And
Yeah, it
over the
does.
course of the year, they have been the better constructor in comparison to McLaren.
it's a good point.
McLaren got double points last week. Alpine double DNF. Like,
Yeah, so,
okay, that was a huge.
How
swing.
about you look at it this way? Esteban Ocon and Norris both have the same odds for a top six finish. So like the guy that he needs to get.
Ocon starting in fifth with the same odds?
Yeah. Like how about
Makes
that?
me like
involved?
Ocon, man.
You like Ocon?
What? You're gonna get 5 places and he's just gotta hold on? And well, I mean, literally, his car just doesn't blow up, and then he's the better look than Norris.
I wouldn't be able to. I honestly wouldn't be able to make that bet.
He's had better. No, but I mean, I like that comparison that you brought up, but
Yeah.
that makes me not like Norris.
That's fine.
The fact that Vegas
then I'll move on.
sees it the
I'll
exact
move on.
same.
So the reason, so let's keep in mind, he qualified 10. Like he was looking, they looked pretty good in terms of pace over the weekend in terms of the practice sessions and qualifying. He didn't get a proper setup because of what happened
Right.
on his qualifying lap, on his final lap.
Was that Q2 or Q3?
Was Q3, wasn't it?
Q2 was when Ricardo outpaced him, but he had some sort of moment. I don't know if that's the one you're thinking of.
Q2.
I made a note because it was notable to me that Ricardo was P5 and Lando was P11 on their first flying laps, but then they said Lando had some issue.
So maybe that's both.
What about
Both?
both? What about both McLaren points finish?
I do.
Oh, it's only 130 plus 137.
Yeah, man.
They're 10-11. Well, I'm just thinking they get Vettel, so now they're
No.
9 and 10.
I could never bet on Daniel Ricciardo. I couldn't. There's no way you could make. I could
Okay.
never. I wouldn't be able to do it.
It was good last week.
He was good last week, and to be honest, I mean, that
Good for
was
him.
It was an
Yeah.
aberration. I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That was, I think, more of a result of how the race kind of played out with all the DNFs than.
Okay.
Man,
Yeah.
there's just no way. I couldn't.
Hey, we're in the. I haven't looked through the book. These aren't.
No. I know you
These
guys throw
aren't
them out
leans
there.
I'm coming
Totally.
with. I'm throwing them out there.
You got to throw them out there. Totally.
What's a Williams to DNF? Latifi's a rookie. Dude, those S curves, I mean, we talked about how you have to connect them and they're so
he's
important
been-
with the flow.
He's been
You-
on the grass. He's been. Like,
You
saw him,
cannot
like,
you cannot touch one of those inside curves
I know.
on those S curves. Like,
well,
if
did he not go off in practice?
I'm
already?
sure he went
did.
off a
I
bunch.
think he did. Yeah.
he might now. The only problem is he's in 20th with a 5-place grid penalty, so call it 25th. So is he
He's
even
in
going to be
25th.
in? Is he even going to be in the mix in turn one to get? Like I'm
No.
looking at turn one where there's cars 3 wide, and he's out.
Weirdly, because every single time we have one of these conversations, I come in with like a lean on somebody not to finish, not to be classified. I don't know. I don't have that feeling this week. Maybe it's because. So I don't think there's not a tremendous amount of safety car.
Well, there's no walls.
Half of the Japanese Grand Prix since 2014. Oh, from 2014 to 2019. So this is like a 6-year period, have been disrupted by safety cars. A third of them disrupted by virtual safety. Yeah, there's no walls. Like you can come
There's
back
no
onto the
walls.
track.
Yeah.
You can come
You
back onto
really
the
need to
track.
hit another car
Yeah, you need to blow up, really.
or blow
Like
up.
your car has to blow up
Or yeah,
essentially.
blow up and pull over to the side of the track.
Yeah, which I don't. I mean, it's entirely possible. So there are the Aston Martins haven't taken another power unit. I still think the Williams haven't. So the Williams is a pretty reliable car, actually,
It
right?
is.
It's
Yeah.
been reliable.
No, it is.
So the fact that they haven't taken uh, power unit components maybe isn't a reason to bet on them to blow up.
They also have good straight line speed,
They
which
do,
is going to help them on that back straight.
yeah.
But they don't have anything else going for them. And Latifi's a rookie.
I know.
We've got 3 rookies on the grid. We've got Latifi, Schumacher, and Zhou. For the reference, for the record,
Right.
Zhou looked good today.
He did look good. He looked good. He
But I'm
looked
not betting
confident.
on an alpha for a man.
No. I would never.
I'm not betting on either alpha.
No. No. I would never do that.
Pierre was livid. Oh yeah, a couple updates, I guess worth commenting.
Oh,
So officially, the worst kept secret: Pierre Gasly is going to Alpine next year, and AlphaTauri is signing Nick De Vries. Nick De Vries.
Nick DeVries.
Nick De Vries. Yes.
Yeah.
And Oscar Piastri is going to McLaren.
He's going to.
And it sounds like, look, I thought I saw reports that Ricardo's just gonna take a year off,
Yeah.
pulling his name out of the hat.
It doesn't seem like there is any seat for him, really. Right? I mean,
Haas.
unless Williams.
Williams.
Williams or Haas, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they have to make a decision on what they're going to do with Mick, right?
Not
I mean,
liking
the
what I'm
fact that
seeing
he-
from him. Crashing the
Well-
car after FP1 is over. Not a good look.
Had to change the chassis on it.
Not a good look. Everyone has
No.
to stay up overnight.
Like I can't wait. Imagine how mad Gunther
So-
Steiner. Like I
oh
can't.
my God.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see the drive.
Imagine
to
you're
survive.
the engineer.
wait to see
You're
it.
just like the guy that now has to work all night because Mick crashed it outside
even-
of the checker flag. Like
I don't even understand what he was doing.
aquaplaning.
Yeah. Well, no, I know.
Oh, yeah, I get a couple of funny moments. Latifi just takes a wrong turn, just goes on the wrong corner, and then blames the car. Don't know what happened there, guys. The car, so strange.
Like, he is the best. He is honestly
He's the best.
man.
I'm gonna miss
He's the
him.
best. He's the best.
I'm gonna
He's the
miss
greatest.
him.
He's the greatest.
So they're plus 225 to have one driver classified, the Williams.
Okay.
I'm interested. What did we see? What's Vettel to stay in the points? Points finish. Minus 163. They like him. Who do they? They have Daniel Ricciardo minus in the points. Jeez.
I think he's getting a lot of leeway.
Too much
for
love.
Last week's result.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
It's one race.
yeah.
Let's take it easy here.
And things just happened to work out for him well, right? With the pit stops and like I mean, I don't know. Like I don't. He's gonna get.
I saw a
dragged back.
graphic. It was how many? 11 overtakes.
Yeah.
8 were on track, and I think 3 were because of DNF
Because of-
shuffle.
Yeah.
No, but 8. Like I would have expected to see 7 of those were just someone crashed and he got a free spot.
Well, he did the same thing the year, or not the year before, 2019 though. Remember, like he's
He's the latest of the breakers, is what they say.
Literally, yeah.
He got a triple. I think he got a triple bubble in one of the turns.
He might have, yeah. He could have.
Bubble.
I'm looking at the. Nah, I don't like any of this stuff.
I don't
Sorry,
want to
what-
touch winning margin. I mean, we
Oh,
hit the winning margin
no.
last week.
I know,
but
I know,
oof,
but-
what a stressful way.
That was so
way
weird.
to get it.
I know. What a way to do it. What about have you? Sorry, what the starting position for Lewis and the starting position for George?
6 and 8, respectively, with Alonso between them and Ocon ahead of them. They split the Alpines.
Okay.
Lewis, he's come
I was
alive.
just looking at.
Like he seems to be outperforming George pretty consistently now.
I think so.
He's reinvested.
What is his last 5? It's weird to say that
Lewis.
only because
Well, he was 9th last week, I guess. P5,
Yeah.
P4. DNF, second place. I guess he hasn't been that consistent.
Yeah. He like when you look at the the average lap time,
Like
George
his pace
actually
efficiency.
in his last five and then
Wow.
overall,
You're
he's got a pretty
right.
significant gap on him.
Weird
So
that I just visual eye test. I was seeing it the other way.
yeah, so I
Weird.
this is an interesting one because I had thought about this all week because I was looking at those numbers
Hmm.
and I'm like the biggest delta between two drivers. I don't know if you saw that like that predictor column that I added to the sheet.
Is this on summary side? What page?
Yeah, it's on the summary page. Right, so this is just like a this is a snapshot. It's an average of the last five plus the pace on the high downforce track. So like anything with
So
a
weighted,
higher
yeah.
rating, and then the front limited tracks that we've identified. And
So we're predicting George potentially has better pace than Lewis here.
yeah, and again, you got to take that all with a grain of salt, obviously. But
He was ahead in FP in qualifying one, 2/100ths off in qualifying two,
yeah,
and a tenth off in qualifying three. So you're thinking maybe a match bet between them
well, it's plus 125. I don't know like if that's enough value to even really entertain it. We could
to
take
go
it.
up against the best ever,
Yeah, like you could take
plus
it.
125 to take David over
I thought it would
Goliath.
be. I thought it would be. I
I
thought it would
like,
be more entertaining odds.
yeah, if it's plus 900, I might sprinkle a
Yeah.
bet on David, but
Yeah. Yeah. The match bets I've never really seen one that's really stood out to me to be completely
well, and
honest.
fair play to you. I was on Seb to beat Lance last week, and or no, I was on Magnuson, and that didn't hit.
No.
Actually, neither of
Yeah.
those hit. Do we like team fastest lap? Is that a thing? No,
Team fastest lap.
no, never mind. I don't see it. Race? I thought I saw it. Most team points. Red Bull's minus money.
Yeah.
Minus 300. Ferrari's plus 250.
We might as well take the
No, so
podium.
this is really like, yeah, that's really justifying the podium. I'm trying to do the math. So first,
Yeah.
if Max wins, he gets 25. A 2-3 from Ferrari gets them 18, 15, 33.
33.
But Vegas says no, Red Bull's getting more points this week. Oh, what would
Why?
Checo get? Oh, hold on. What would Checo get in fourth? Would be 10. That would be
10.
35 to 33.
Yeah.
So they're definitely saying Checo's not dropping behind four.
Yeah. So I mean, what that means is you get a tremendous amount of value to have Checo finish in third instead of fourth, which he will. I think he will. I don't.
Well,
I'm
they're
not,
saying it's minus 300. Like, I would think it would be minus 150 if they thought it was going to be 35-33, the final. This is telling me at minus 300 for Red Bull, they think this is going to be 41 to 22 team scores.
probably.
Does that make, you
And-
know what I mean? You know what I'm trying
No,
to say?
I get what you're saying, and you know, to be honest, it's probably right. Like I mean, that is even for
It's helping justify. And we've
Yeah.
got a plus bet on Red Bull. Now, we need both cars to finish. We
need
have,
both cars to
we've,
finish, yeah.
we've looked at this, and Checo's been the guy that gets a
Yeah.
little too aggressive against Sergio,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
against Sergio, against Carlos.
It's Carlos, yeah, yeah. I think we're seeing a different Checo 2.0, like we talked about.
Checo 2.0.
I think we're seeing a different guy.
And the team has set up his car to perform better
Yeah.
over the Grand Prix if it's dry, and even more if it's wet.
If it gets wet, yeah. I like it. I like the
I
bet.
like it.
I think I like the bet more because I'm really fading the. Where did the Ferraris finish? The Dutch Grand Prix. The Dutch Grand Prix was really weird for them. They had the bad pit stop with Carlos, I think.
So
Man, they really struggled with the fronts, and their car.
they were
That's been a theme.
3 and 8. Signs dropped back to 8.
Yeah, that was the pit stop.
Was that
He
a
probably
that was
had
a pit stop?
He had I think he had the pace to finish in fifth though. Like they were off the pace, and the Mercedes were in
Yeah.
it. I don't think the Mercedes are going to be in it. I just don't know. Like the hard. So I think there's going to be such a significant gap between the Red Bulls and the Ferraris ultimately that I think that plus money bet is just an easy win, assuming
So
reliability holds up.
yeah, so
I
a
just
lot
don't
of
know anybody else who can jump ahead of the Ferraris, even though they're going to struggle. I think
no, I
ultimately.
don't think anyone else does. Checo does.
Well, Checo does. Yeah, Checo does. Yeah.
Unless they blow up. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Like our data show, we think or we see that the Dutch Grand Prix is a great comparable. I have heard people, the pundits this weekend, reference Spa
Yeah.
as a comparable. I mean, it's got some high speed corners, big straight,
Yep.
but again, Verstappen won with the fastest lap
Yeah.
in Spa. Checo was 2 in Spa. Leclerc was 6. Sainz was 3. Sainz dropped to 3 from pole. I
Yeah.
like
So
this Red Bull 162.
we're gonna be like I think we're like looking at like 300 on the Mercs and 300 on the Red Bull bet
So I was
already.
starting to feel that way. Like we don't have to force ourselves to find 5 bets here.
No, no, no. Oh, no, no, no. I
Like let's
totally
keep
agree.
we're going through our
Yeah, let's
process.
keep
We're,
looking. No, no, no. You're totally right though. I agree with that completely.
like I if it were 500 500 on these two,
I wouldn't. I would be okay with it.
I think I'd be okay with it, but I want to look. I want to keep looking here.
Yeah.
Grid position of winner, no. Oh. Pole position minus 225.
Don't really get much with that, eh?
No. Well, what's max to win? It's got to be the same, right? Minus 225, yeah. Top 6.
What about?
You can get George into the top 6. No, did we like that? I don't love that because I'm not sure about the Alpines.
Okay, maybe just mark this one down, chaps.
Hmm.
Finishing position for Charles. Third is plus 450.
What are the other one? What's Here, I'll
Well,
pull it up.
the
I'm just
best
curious where does that
plus
compare to?
plus 125 is his
His
best,
second, yeah.
which I don't think is going to happen
Why?
because of what we talked about. I think they're going to lose the fronts quicker than Red Bull. I think Checo's going to have them. We look at the two comparables, which is the Dutch Grand Prix and the Belgian Grand Prix, and what were the top 3 positions,
Yeah.
right? I don't
What
think Sainz
my
has it.
hesitation here is again this is more of an eye test than supported by our data. Maybe it is. I'm not looking through the data right now. I just remember a lot of races where Max and Charles are 5 seconds ahead of Carlos and Checo. And I think that this finishes with Max and Checo both on the podium.
Yeah.
But Charles, we've seen it so many times where those two just take off. And he's starting in 2.
Yeah, the question is, can
So
Checo
then
get them?
so then we need Checo or Carlos to get him out of 2.
Well, I think
I'm not
Checo.
sure I see this finishing 1-2 Red Bull. How many
You
times have
don't
we
think
seen
so?
a 1-2 finish?
You don't
Once?
think that, eh? You don't think so?
I'm just not sure.
That's fine. Yeah,
I like them
if you're
both in
not
the
sure, if you're
3.
like not to, that's fine. Like I get that completely.
Like the Ferrari is a good race car.
Oh no,
And
totally.
this track, I mean it sets up for them. There is a lot of high speed which they're good at. Like just generally, if we were to say Red Bull's the all-around car, good at everything,
Yeah,
Mercedes would then be the downforce, and Ferrari would be the high speed. Like
yeah.
Mercedes would be low speed, Ferrari would be high speed if they had to just generalize the 3.
I guess yeah. Where did
But
we?
they're due for a blow up. How long has it been since they DNF'd?
That's been a while, man. That's also like a kind of a fade on them too, right?
Yeah.
But he's
No
yeah.
altitude though. No
No,
altitude.
no altitude. Wait till we get to the altitude, though, buddy.
Yeah, wait till Mexico, man.
Yeah, so the last 1-2 um, was at Belgium.
And where was Charles? 6. Oh, but he came from the back.
He came from the back though. It's actually kind of crazy that grid, that result, that final permutation hasn't happened. I mean, like you would think that it's gonna happen at some point. Both Red Bulls and then Charles. That hasn't happened. 1, 2, 3.
That's
This
never
might be the
happened.
one. This might be the race, man. This could be the one where they go.
But
1,
don't
2,
you think
3.
that's never happened because Max and Charles are just that they're clearly driver A, and they're 5 seconds up the track, and then we see a
Yeah.
great battle between Carlos and
No,
Checo, and
I'm not arguing.
Carlos is about to overtake, and they tell him to pit. Like that's just we've seen this happen.
No, I totally agree. I just don't think that. I would be surprised if, based on some of the variables that we've kind of discussed already, with the front tire wear and the fact that the Ferrari seems to struggle more on some of the front limited circuits, and because of the tire stress of this particular track and the advantage that the Red Bull has in managing its
Yep.
tires, plus a confident Checo, like you know what you should do? We should just, if you're okay, this is, I'm just going to throw this out there as a flyer. What's the TriCast?
Oh, where you can get any 3 finishing position?
Yeah, so let's go Max, Checo, Leclerc, 20 plus 2,500. Could we just take a flyer on that maybe?
That's combination TriCast, right?
That's straight TriCast.
Oh, you're going.
What's a combination TriCast?
Yeah,
Actually,
I'm
maybe
thinking where we can get
yeah.
all 3 of them. Max,
Yeah.
Charles, Sergio's plus 500. Now that I might like,
How about that?
because we can get them in any finishing position.
So who, like, because we've talked, so there's no.
Do we like that better than the Red Bull? No, because the Red Bull
No.
of safety is you get Carlos in there too.
No,
in the
it's
mix.
not. It's not better. That's not better. No. That's we have 2 really good bats, I think.
Yeah,
Based
yeah,
on what
yeah.
we've talked about.
This one's
I would-
interesting.
I would be interested in, like, you take a $100 flyer on
On a plus 500.
on
you
a
get
plus
your value.
500. How does that not? I mean, there's a million ways in which it
Carlos.
doesn't happen.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's fine. I mean, like, if he beats Leclerc, he beats Leclerc. I don't know. I don't have a reason why he would.
do we trust Ferrari to know when to put inters on?
No,
No, we don't.
no. That's part of the reason why we're taking both the Red Bulls to be on the podium.
Right. But this could hit. This could also like this gets both.
It does, yeah.
It doesn't hedge
gets both.
anything.
No. Just mark it down for now.
I like the plus money.
I know you like the dogs, man. You like the plus money. I get
I'm
it.
here for the
You're on it.
dogs.
Yeah, you're on it for sure. I get it. It seems like there's going to be a significant gap between the Red Bulls and the Ferraris based on starting position. I just confident Checo 2.0. I think
Yeah.
he's gonna be up there with Max, to be completely honest.
He looked good today. Didn't he lead quali 2?
I think he did.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it in him. He's got that dog in him.
He's got the dog in him.
Okay, I got to throw this out every week. Lando
Yeah.
Norris, exact 7th. I think it's plus 900 I saw.
I wouldn't shy away from that. Starting in
I'm a
10th,
big fan.
buddy, I wouldn't shy away from it.
So who's out of place
So
here?
much has to happen for that to happen. Like, so much has to happen. But it could happen.
Again, maybe it's a $50 just a sprinkle. It's not even a flyer, just a sprinkle.
Mark it down.
Where I want to know what the odds are. Where exactly? I always get lost. I can't find this one.
Yeah.
It's at the top, I think, right?
Yeah. I think
Finishing
so.
position.
Finishing position, exactly.
Lando Norris plus 900.
Mark it down. Mark it down, man. Mark it down. Oh my god. Yeah, first constructor retirement. No.
Checo to finish 3rd and 4th have the same odds. Oh no, 6th place or because you just get the whole grid. That's the favorite. So 3rd and 4th for Checo, both give him plus 350. I'm kind of curious. Where does Vegas see everyone finishing here? They think Charles is 2, and Carlos has slightly better for 3rd over 4th. But they're giving Checo even odds.
See, this is weird. Like, it's so weird to me that. So if you go group betting,
Yeah.
like, are we? I think I still like the way that we're seeing this race. But if you go group betting, like, Checo's plus 1,200 to win out of that group. No, I think that's more of a reflection of starting position. I think that's more of like, it's more formulaic for them.
I think that's just more of a
Yeah.
reflection of Max is going to win this race, and then also you've got the team game. So you maybe drop the odds for the Ferraris,
No,
but if
that's true.
it comes down to Checo and Max 1-2, you think
Yeah.
Red Bull's letting Checo pass Max
No.
to take the title away? There's no.
But here,
Checo's not winning this race
Here we go. Here, chaps. I got another one that we need to entertain.
for a group bet.
Yeah, group 3.
Okay, I'm on it. Yeah, group 3.
Lando minus 250. They beat Vettel, Ricardo, and Bottas. Are any of them even a threat?
Sad.
Like, is Seb really a threat to beat him? I don't think so.
No, because the Aston sucks in the rain.
Yeah. So even on a dry track, Lando is going to take him. If it gets wet, Lando gets better, and the Aston Martin gets worse.
Yeah. Just being transparent, do you think the group betting is too specific for a single book and just might not be, or whatever? It is what it is. Like, here's where we're placing our bets, and it's available.
I think you just.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a very specific.
It's a bet we're making. I don't like.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Then
Yeah.
I just want to throw that out there.
To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if other. There's some other really specific bets that we make that other books just don't have. There's a lot of European books that actually do have.
The 10th lap last week was very specific.
Very specific. You know what? It doesn't matter. It's still a win. That's it. Ding. Still a win, buddy.
Wait, can I do? I think I have like a ding.
A ding? You can make the noise.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Minus 250 for that. Like let's mark that down for now.
And so just for everyone who's not looking at it, it's Lando Norris versus Seb Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Valtteri Bottas, and he just needs to finish the highest out of those four, and that's minus 250. That's interesting. I wouldn't mind a sprinkle on. So are we gonna come? I wouldn't mind a sprinkle on Lando plus 900 on the 7th. Are we still liking Charles to finish third at plus 450, or have we kind of covered our way out of that now?
We've covered our way out. I think with the TriCast, we covered our way out of that.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's plus 500.
Yeah.
He can get third or second or
first.
Second.
Or
no,
second.
but we need all three in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's out. So I've got 5 on my page. Is there anything? I like the Lando group. I'm right with you.
You've got 5 on your
What was his time? He was half a second off set. But yeah, he's P10. Do you know? Did he have an issue in Q3? The fact that he's just P10 tells me maybe he didn't even set a lap. Like he's not the.
No, he didn't.
slowest.
He didn't. Something happened. God, no, I can't remember. What happened?
I know he had the
Sorry,
issue.
when did the Max thing happen? I might be getting it mixed up with.
Oh.
Yeah. Did he not get a?
No, I think that was Q2.
Did he not get proper setup for?
I think that
Q3?
was his Q. I don't know, man. I was too tired.
Yeah, no, I got it, man. I got it.
I took notes the best I could.
Yeah.
To be classified. Who's gonna DNF here? No, I don't think we need to fade anything like that.
I just, for whatever reason, I'm not feeling it. And usually I come in with like a bunch of leans on who I think is gonna blow up and not finish the race. I mean, hilariously. Not that I would ever take this, but classified as last finisher, minus 138 for Nick Latifi because he's in 25th, like you said.
But he has to finish.
He has to finich the race. I don't know if he
I
can.
know. That's where they get you.
Yeah.
He has to finish the race.
But he is so significantly the favorite in that bet, in that prop.
Well, we talked about it 10 minutes ago. The Williams is reliable. We've seen it all year.
Yeah.
So Vegas says no walls. They're going to finish the race, and he's going to be in last.
Yeah.
They're probably right.
They're probably right. They're probably right.
Did you see something else there? It seemed like you were going to...
Yeah. Okay, I don't know. Okay, without Max Verstappen, which would mean...
Yeah.
To finish in second, essentially.
So he's just not in the race. Yeah.
Sergio at plus 1,000. Like, is that a flyer, dude?
How does this work? Is it
without Max
essentially finish second?
Yeah.
Or, I guess if Max finishes 8th, then he just is no longer in 8th. You just take him off the grid, and then everyone jumbles in, and then whatever the finishing order is.
Yeah. It's
like at the end, you just take him out. If he's 3rd, then whoever was 4th becomes 3rd.
Yeah.
And then it's whoever wins.
But it doesn't matter because it's whoever wins the race without Max Verstappen.
So it's essentially taking Checo to get into that P2.
Yeah.
at plus 1,000.
Plus 1,000.
What's Checo exact P2?
Like Lewis Hamilton is plus 500.
Hypothetically this should check out. Exact
Yeah.
finishing position, right? Because we're taking
It's the same bet. Yeah.
There's no way we've outsmarted Vegas. P2's plus 800. What are we missing? I'm gonna Google the
Yeah, without. Well, I don't even know if you can.
yeah F1. I'll just do without.
Plus 1,000 for the guy to finish. Like he could finish in second. We just talked about all the reasons why he could. He could not finish the race. I mean, he's burned us big time in the past, but.
What's it called? What's the actual?
This particular prop is without Max Verstappen.
Without Max Verstappen.
Yeah. Just remember to come off mute again.
This one's not as easy to. We should keep that page open.
Yeah.
I'll just Google the lap one. That'll get me there. There we go. Oh, I don't know if it's on this page even.
But that has to be what it is, though, right? Like that's clearly.
You would think, right? Like
What
at the
else
end of the
would it
day, they have the grid. Then you take out Max Verstappen, and everything just jumbles in as if he was never there.
And it's so it doesn't say like to win without Max Verstappen. It just says without Max.
So
Verstappen.
then, what are you betting on? It
It's
has to be to
obviously-
win.
It has to be to win, right?
Most points.
It's
yeah,
most points.
that would be
It
winning.
doesn't matter
Yeah,
either way.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Okay. And just a note. What?
Just I was thinking, is there math? Like, if you're not getting the winning gap of points, so Verstappen got those 25, can someone be somewhere with a fastest lap and get more than someone ahead of them?
No.
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 Not more than the top guy, anyways.
No.
Yeah, okay,
Good.
okay,
That's
okay,
a good.
okay.
I like that. Hey, listen.
Well, because they structure it, right? You that gap is worth
You're right.
something from first to second.
No. You're right.
The gap in points.
It's just the extra point for the fastest lap could have been. You're right, though.
No one's doing that. It's a squeaky wheel.
Yeah, it's just good to go. I like it, man. You're thinking about it. They're trying to get. Are they trying to get you?
They're trying to get me.
Or
They're
did
not
we
gonna
just
get me.
find? Or did we just find extra value of?
We
plus
might have
200?
just got them. I don't know. I need
Nothing.
to see the rules.
We might have just got them. I like that.
Someone jump in the live show, throw in the comments what this bet means to us.
You gotta tell us. Yeah, we need to know. So just while we're reviewing that,
Yeah.
I know we said minus 275 for the Mercedes to finish in the top 10.
We did.
It's minus 300 for both of their cars to classify. If we were really honestly going to make that bet with a heavy bet, we might as well just. Our bet essentially is that we
Yeah.
just think they're both going to finish the race.
Yeah.
We might as well take minus 300. Why don't you maybe
That's
just do
that's you know what? That's just being safe for the people. We're investing.
that? Yeah.
That's so much safer.
Why wouldn't we take?
And the only reason we're on them in the top 10 is because we see them both finishing, and it's like, where else are they going to finish?
Yeah.
Well, just in case,
Just take them to finish.
let's just take them to finish. That's okay. We're just outsmarting Vegas here.
They're both gonna get naxed. It's just something.
Yeah, then Vegas is going to come out and be like, "Oh no, we meant at the start of the podium.
Yeah,
No, he already sprayed
exactly.
the champagne. Doesn't count."
Doesn't matter.
Okay, that's great, Mike. Great find.
That's everything for me.
Great
Based on
find.
the book. That's all. Everything I saw there.
I'm still give me. Well, I'm trying not to waste time, but I want to find this one out.
Yeah.
I don't think it's on here. Get caught speeding in the pit lane is a bet that they have a description for.
What?
Yeah, it's not on the book right now.
I've never
but
seen it before. Yeah.
that is a description, and you know what? It hit this year.
Yeah, it would have. You're right.
Yeah.
Carlos. Oh my God.
That won us money. We needed that penalty for something. Checo.
We did. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Driver to leader after specified.
Okay, how about this? The there's a futures bet, Formula One Drivers' Championship 2022 without Max Verstappen. What do you think that means? It means the guy to finish second in the Drivers' Championship, obviously, and it's minus 275 for Leclerc. So like clearly
What's
that's
Checo?
he's plus 250.
Kind of like that.
We just make a futures bet.
I kind of like
That's
that.
not a bad futures
Checo
bet.
2.0, man. Well,
I
what's the
know.
point? He's right there in points.
I know. He's like tied with Charles.
He's 2 points behind.
Okay. I mean, we're gonna have to look at that one.
We might have to look
The
at that
boys
one
are gonna have to take a look
in
at
the
that one
week
after,
here.
right? Are you kidding me? What?
Okay, you know what? I can't find it. I don't think it's
It-
here. Like I've done Control
okay, so
find,
that-
and
it's-
it's not
it's,
popping up.
it
That has
usually
to be
comes
what it
in-
means.
Yeah, he comes in second. That's what it means.
See at the top when you click on it, it says like E/W
Yeah.
/1. Like does that mean anything? What does that mean to you?
Oh god, it's each way, 1 to 3, 1 and oh god, I can't remember what it means.
Are you logged in?
No, I'm not.
Sometimes when you put it onto your slip, it adds more of a description of what the bet means. I'm gonna
No, I'm not
let me
logged in.
log in here. Is it not
But there's
gonna
no way.
let me?
It doesn't. What else could it mean?
I don't know. That Max Verstappen has to get out of the race if he finishes the bets. No, like I don't know.
Imagine that's what it was. Like Max Verstappen has to not finish, and
That'd be crazy.
would it create like the odds should be insane. Like it wouldn't make any sense at all. Yeah.
I just why is Checo exact P2 plus 800 then?
We might be overthinking it. It probably is just all algorithm.
You think they're
based,
just
and
asleep at the wheel?
Maybe they're asleep, buddy. Maybe they're snoozing.
I'm almost there. Formula One without Max Verstappen. Let's put Checo onto the slip and see what it says. To win outright without Max Verstappen.
Okay.
Oh, but you can take unit wager times 2. I don't know what that EW means. It's like it's a checkbox that you can do on the bet.
Each way, those if you
Each way.
just pick a guy to win the race, and the each way bet will come up too. I can't remember how it works, to be honest.
Is it like win, place, show for horses?
It might be, maybe.
So do we like this Checo? What do we like more? Checo Checo
Tell
effectively
me,
P2.
what do we have now?
Orlando.
What are we looking
okay,
at here?
so we're on Merck to finish. Both
Merck to
finish
finish.
now
Yeah, Merck to finish.
at minus 300.
Yeah.
We're on Red Bull, both on the podium, plus 162.
Yeah.
Right? That's the podium bet.
Yep.
I didn't write that part of it down. We've got the combo of Max, Charles, Checo in any order, top 3, plus 500,
Yeah.
which is almost better than the Red Bull podium, but clearly less safe because Carlos could ruin that.
No, we can't. We can't. To still get plus money,
I mean, we can get both of them if they hit podium.
you could get both.
Yeah.
And maybe we entertain both, right? Like I don't want it to be too redundant, but
That's
it's
kind
still
of in the flyer, 500 maybe $100 category for that plus 500.
because it's a plus 500 exactly. Yeah.
We've got the Lando group bet minus 250.
I really like that bet.
Is pretty safe.
Like I like.
The only
I
thing
like
there
that
is
bet.
Seb because he loves the track. He performed really well today.
He can.
But if
he
it
can-
rains, the Aston sucks. But
well, even
he's starting
in-
ahead of Lando, and again, past champion. The Aston's not gonna rain, or it hasn't
I know.
been.
He is just looking at the relative pace. Like Lando's got the McLaren has such an advantage. He has such an advantage over the Aston Martin. And actually, it looks like one of the biggest splits I've seen is Vettel is more. It looks like he's more competitive on some of the rear limited tracks. I mean, this is clearly again a very much a front limited track.
That supports my belief of him. He won he was P2 Baku last year.
Yep. No, it does exactly right. But I don't know if he's going to be able to again, manage tire wear the same way that the McLaren will, and if you get weather, I I don't know, man. Like to me, it seems like a pretty
Like, do we like Lando to win that group more than both Red Bulls on the podium? Definitely feels safer
well.
because there's
Don't
not a Ferrari in the way.
yeah
There's just Seb Vettel in the way. He might get him off the line.
yeah.
He was faster in Q1, faster in Q2.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's definitely
Lando, we're on this.
yeah.
Lando to win this group.
It's definitely a better. It should be more. There should be more volume on it. I know that it's minus 250, and I don't want to skew our volume based on the odds, but it is a safer bet. It's just one car,
Yeah.
one car beating three guys versus two cars beating the field. Of course,
Yeah.
it's minus 250 versus a plus bet, right? So yeah, like Merck and Lando are the bigger bets for sure.
And Lando's been reliable as a driver and from a car
And as a,
perspective.
he checks all the boxes for us, right?
Yep.
And so to
I
be
love
honest,
Lando.
chaps,
It's my guy.
I don't think there's so we are getting value that we normally wouldn't get
Because Seb just
because
put it
there's-
in front of him.
and exactly and of Lando's qualifying position. You've got those two factors that
Yeah.
are influencing. You don't normally get Lando in the group three. I've looked through it before, right? Like when you split
Oh.
up the grip. He's
Oh, do
normally
they just
group
go in
two.
order? Oh, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't like pick drivers to put those groups together.
No,
It's
I
just
think-
straight up just grid
I
position.
think it's just like grid position for the most part.
Oh,
So you don't normally get him in a group
Oh, yeah,
where
you're
he
right.
clearly has advantage.
right, because he's usually sitting with Checo, Lewis.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
He's usually in
yeah,
that
yeah.
middle in the group too.
Okay, yeah, I'm on it. We're on it.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have to take advantage of that. Just
And then-
it's circumstantial, right?
And then so do we maybe so that I'm down to we got a plus 900 on Lando 7th or a plus 1,000 for Checo without Max.
I would rather do the Checo without Max. That's just my opinion because we don't want it. What's the point in doubling down on Lando?
We got a lot on Checo then.
What do we have? Oh, how much do
Like
we
if
have?
Checo finishes 4th, we miss the podium, we miss the combo, and we miss Checo.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. Maybe we don't do.
Like
maybe
there
we
is a
don't.
chance, dude, that the Ferraris do just stay 2-3,
Yeah,
or two, one of them stays 2.
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think there's a chance at all. But but you yeah, if you're
There's a
concerned
chance.
about it.
There is a chance here that Verstappen and Charles go down the road. Carlos and Checo battle, but
Yeah,
Checo
yeah.
wins it, so he got the podium. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah, we don't need to. I agree that we don't need. Maybe we don't even take one of those.
maybe
big flyers.
maybe we don't.
Maybe we just keep the money and spread it on something else.
Just make that combo bet a bigger flyer,
Yeah.
and we just need Carlos out of the way.
Yeah, maybe we just sit with what we've got. So give me a rundown.
Minus 300, both Mercedes to finish the race.
Yeah.
Plus 162,
Yeah. Sorry.
Both-
Let's go minus 250 Lando.
minus 250
beat that-
Lando to win
group.
that group.
Yeah.
Plus 162 Red Bulls both on the podium.
Yeah.
Plus 500 our combo.
Yeah, that's
Max, Charles, Checo.
I think that's it. I think that's the spread right there.
So we're doubling up on the Red Bulls.
Which of all of the tracks, I think it makes sense to do that right now. Right? Like this is the
Is there a
time-
hedge here where we just go Checo 4th? What did you say that was? No, you said Checo 3rd. It's his most likely, right?
Checo
That would hedge
fourth.
all of this.
Checo 4th is the most likely.
Yeah. Do we as a concept, do we feel like, well, no, it's tied with 3rd. They both plus 350.
Oh, they're both plus 350.
So Checo 4th ruins the podium and the combo. We don't see him going any lower than 4th.
So sorry, plus 350, what's a $50 bet give you? Plus 350, 350. It's 175. I guess,
175.
yeah. So we're going to just hedge for 175?
Well, is it a $50 hedge?
well, is it $100? Like, I don't know if we want to
I
take
don't know.
$100 out
I'm
of
just
the
wondering
spread.
as a concept, do we want to work in a hedge? We usually don't. We usually see
No.
our bets can all win.
Yeah.
We can sweep the board.
I just don't think that you have to. My issue with the concept of a hedge is that, I mean, like, you've
We're
been,
going to lose.
yeah, and you've been in the situation where you hedge when you have a parlay and you've got
That's
a bunch of
live.
hits.
Yeah.
There's no real other situation that you hedge on individual bets, right? It doesn't make
Maybe
sense.
my hesitation is that we've got two on Red Bull. We got two on Red Bull where they both bets are effectively, if they're not both in the podium, we lose both bets. So we're doubling up on Red Bulls both being in the podium here.
Yeah, so I think what you do to mitigate the impact is then you just lower the volume on them, to be honest. Like, maybe
So we
even
cover our total investment just because the Mercedes both finish,
yeah,
or the
like
land, maybe the Lando
the
even
Lando. Well,
at the minus
I
two
think they're
fifty.
both. I would have them both be like $400 bets maybe, and then we deal with a couple two hundos, like two $100 bets, or maybe, you know what I mean?
That's the thing. Yeah, with the combo, it's a plus money, so it doesn't have to be a huge
Well,
investment
it's
on it.
plus like you can make
Yeah,
it a
yeah,
hundred
yeah,
dollar
yeah.
bet or a $50 bet, and it's gonna if it happens the way that we think it's gonna happen,
Yeah. Okay.
right?
New page with the finals.
Like, is it a four, and then two ones?
4, 4, and 2 ones. I don't hate that.
Right?
Like the one on 162 feels low, but
The one on 162 feels low, but I think that's a reflection of kind of the redundancy in some ways of the two
yeah,
bets. But they're
yeah.
not redundant. Like, they're not completely redundant.
They're
And you
not
can tell
completely
me,
because we're protecting ourselves with Carlos being in there
yeah,
by taking the two podium.
exactly.
The Norris group is minus 250.
And I love being able to win them all. Like, I think that's
Me,
just
oh,
a
me too.
key.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It's a key piece of the weekend.
Well, because we've had it. What did we sweep? Dutch. We swept
Yeah,
the Dutch.
exactly. You can win them
We
all,
swept the Dutch Grand Prix.
buddy.
We didn't even. I didn't even put that together until right now. This is a
That's
live,
right.
like just
Yeah,
yeah,
we were 5 for 5, man.
yeah. But the
Yeah.
track. This is the track comparison.
I know.
Oh my, Mike. Well,
There's a reason why we're confident. There's a
Yeah, I
reason,
know.
man.
Yeah, I know.
I know. I know.
Okay, and then the combo try. So we're thinking 400 on the Merc finish, 400 on Norris, 1-1. I'm thinking we change up the 1-1 a little bit
What do you want to do?
so that if the Red Bull podium hits, but the combo loses,
Yeah. It
the Red
offsets?
Bull podium covers at least our loss on the combo.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So then what do we need to be at then?
So we're right now we would win a 62 profit to cover 100, so we're a little under.
Yep.
So if we go like 25 and 75,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Totally.
75 plus 500.
Oh God. What's 75?
No, it's okay. I got my calculator.
Okay.
Okay, 125 times 1.62. 202. Did I do that right? No.
No.
162 over 100. Yeah. Times 125. Oh, right. But then minus 125.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, 77. And we would lose 75 if the combo
Okay.
hit.
Okay. Okay.
I like that.
That's the one.
That's a little hedge. Slight hedge.
Yeah. It's you're covering yourself, which makes sense. I think that is that's the best way to approach it for sure.
Yeah, I don't want to lose. I don't want to show a $25 loss because we just didn't. We could have
No.
just easily
No. I agree.
played around with it.
We didn't just we didn't properly assign the volume for our bets. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's part of this discussion. It's the betting
No, I-
formula, not just the
Totally.
bets.
Man. Everything about it, right?
Okay, cool. I gotta pee. We're
Yep.
gonna sign off on the live, and then
Yep.
we'll record our stuff in the other studio. Thanks for tuning in. Anyone that did tune in, we'll be back for Coda. It's in 2 weeks, October 22nd.
Yep.
For the American Grand Prix, the U.S.